everybody. Keith Engle for TGI Sports Talk with our one-on-one with Keith Engle. We've got a great guest tonight. Listen, whether you're watching this in the morning, whoops, we got more music, or at night, during the day. That's why I didn't say good morning or good evening this time. You'll be catching this. You can watch us on Facebook. You can catch it on YouTube, Twitter. We're all over the place. So we brought back our one-on-one series, as you know, and we've had some great guests so far. Irving Fryer was wonderful last week. This week's guest is a former MVP in the National League. He was on the 1986 World Champion Mets, finished high in the Rookie of the Year voting that year, and had a long, distinguished career with the Mets and the Giants, the Reds, short stint with the Padre, some shorter stints around the league, but he was around for a long time and a really, really good ball player. And we're excited to have him in today as well. And we're happy that he agreed to be our guest. And we'll bring in our guest, Kevin Mitchell. Good evening, Kevin, or good morning or good afternoon, whenever people see us. How are you?
Well, it's good afternoon with me. It's late here in the high desert. So, I'm in California. And it's kind of warm out there. I just got off the golf course, and it's a pleasure to be on your show. And we finally linked up,
Yeah, well, you know what? I told you earlier that I never bother somebody during a round of golf. So, we had to delay a little bit to do this taping. Doesn't affect anybody that's watching us, but we just lost Kevin's picture. Hopefully he's still there. And there he is. And so anyway, I'm glad. I hope you had a good round. I told Kevin about the weather here back east, and he's happy he's not in New York now, although he likes all you New York fans, I'm sure. Kevin, let's jump into it. I want to start. I mean, you grew up out in California, obviously, and like a lot of athletes that I've talked to. One second. Sorry about that. You probably didn't have the childhood, and hopefully you can hear me if I can't see you, that some others had. You had an interesting upbringing, and tell us a little bit about your life and how you progressed through early life into high school. I think we may have lost Kevin altogether. Well, bear with me 1 second, guys. Sorry. Kevin will be back with us hopefully in a second. We lost our connection. That's the beauty of doing these interviews, and sometimes they get a little rough because connection issues and whatnot. Kevin's at the golf course on the phone with us, so hopefully he'll be back here very shortly. Not sure. I just got a message from him. Oh, there he is. Kevin's back with us.
For a minute,
Hey, technology is a wonderful thing, except when it doesn't work. And then it's not great.
I'm illiterate when it comes to I got my daughter to do everything.
Listen, I saw you do a video on the golf course this afternoon, so you're not that bad.
Oh, well, that's probably the only. You know why I do it? Because the other guys that wasn't here, that wasn't playing, they all on vacation. I was trying to let them know that my friend of mine, Mike, he's hitting the ball a long way right now. He just started playing golf.
It's wonderful to get off the tee. It's not how far, it's how many. You know that, right?
That's it. She's told me, you know what? Give yourself a second chance.
Yeah.
You can get off the tee, you got a second chance.
That's a good point. Kevin, I want to jump into we'll talk about your career. I want to talk about your early life out there and growing up in San Diego, and tell us a little bit about what it was like through your formative years, who maybe, got you into sports. What was it like growing up in your community in San Diego?
Well, I grew up in the inner city in southeast San Diego. I grew up with Marcus Allen, Michael Allen, Damian Allen, Raleigh Henry, Terrell Davis, a lot of great.
Yeah.
Sam Horn, Nelson Simmons, just a lot of good ball players, man, just good athletes. I mean, we California creates a lot of dynamic ball players. So.
Yeah, that's a pretty good crew of, I've talked to a lot of guys like Roy White who are from like Compton, right? And a lot of good athletes come out of that area as well. And I didn't realize that there was as many in your area as there are. That's quite a list of great athletes for sure.
Yeah, we just got to get our black athletes back to playing sports again, man, and get them out the street and get them to, participate in more things that, that's presented to them.
What was that? What was that like? It compared to today and your time. What was it like? Were you on the street a lot before you got into sports? What was your upbringing like there?
Like I said, I grew up in the inner city. I grew up around gang members and stuff like that, But a lot of people try to portray me as this bad guy, but didn't really know me. I was the type of person that take a lot of mess. I don't take mess even now, but respect me as a man, and I'll respect you.
Is there a reason you think people try to pigeonhole you like that?
Just because where I grew up at,
Yeah.
inner city. I think everybody that's got to come out of the inner city is going to be a bad seed, and it wasn't. It's never like that, I was fortunate enough that when I signed with the New York Mets, Davey Johnson gave me that chance.
Wait, well, when you were playing high school, I thought I read, and tell me if this is true, that you played football in high school, but you didn't play baseball. Did you play baseball in high school?
No, I played one season in a Lions tournament, hit 7 home runs in 7 days, and I always told the guys, the scouts and stuff, that the game was boring to me. I wanted to play football.
So how did somebody catch you at that tournament? Is that how you caught the eye of the Mets or even other organizations?
Yeah, Dean Youngworth. He saw me playing against San Diego State. I had hit 2 home runs off Buddy Black and didn't even know he was a pitcher for the Kansas City Royals. So, I was a young kid, had long hair, and they asked me, did I want to play baseball? And I ended up signing in the January draft just to get out of the city and start playing.
What do you think that being where you grew up, I mean, do you think that sports helped you? Did it keep you from a different life that maybe you would have gone down a different road?
Of course.
Yeah.
I mean, every kid out of the inner city, I think what really helped me out was the boys clubs around the inner city.
Yeah.
I was a guy, played a lot of wiffle ball, summer league. They had a summer league program that I was going to at UCSD that really kept me busy. I think even with the younger kids now, I think they should have never took away that summer program because it really helps out, especially the kids that's bored and don't have nothing to do. That's what gets you in trouble. When you keep your mind busy and your body busy, you got something to do. It's going to keep you off the streets.
Yeah. How do you think it compares today to your time there? Is it similar? Is it worse? Is it better?
I think it's worse because we got, you get a lot of killings out here now. Back when it was just straight from the shoulders. We didn't use guns. A lot of kids are dying now, man. So.
Yeah, it's sad for sure. Well, when you get to the as you start your major, did you? Well, let me put it this way: I know you played football and pretty well. From what I heard in high school, was there any thought of going that way with your career instead of baseball?
Of course, but like I said, I grew up in the inner city and I was getting in trouble, and I had to hurry up and get out of San Diego. I need a new side of what I was looking at, So baseball, an offer that came from me to sign a baseball contract, I was on it. I was out. They told me if I would have signed in the regular draft, I probably would have been a high draft.
Well, yeah, and when you do sign with the Mets, you probably couldn't get a whole lot further from San Diego than you did, and when you're playing in the minor leagues. And where'd you play? Elmira? Where else did you play?
Kingsport, Tennessee.
First stop,
man. Kingsport, Tennessee, and I'd never been out of the inner city, and it was so scary in Kingsport. I stayed. It was me, Terry Blocker, Lou Thornton with the Mets, Lenny Dykstra was down there, Herm Winningham ended up being one of my best friends, and John Wilson, Mookie's brother. We all stayed in this house that looked like Norman Bates' house.
Jeez.
And my first time ever seeing the bugs that light up, the light bugs.
Yeah.
So I was really intimidated about that.
Did you sleep with one eye open in the Bates Motel or what?
Let me tell you where I slept. They all had rooms. I slept in the top of the house, the attic part. It
Yeah.
had in. That was it. And those guys used to try to scare me at night. And the house we stayed in was the family was the Thompsons. Their father has died in this house up on top of the hill. They stayed in the bottom house, way down at the bottom of the hill, and we stayed at the top. And it was like when you look at Norman Bates' house, what's the movie Norman Bates is in?
Psycho.
Psycho. You look up top of the hill. That was the type of house. Excuse me. That was the type of house he had.
I can see the house now. I'm scared just thinking about it, for crying out loud. I wasn't in it.
I didn't even have a window.
Oh man, how long were you there?
I was there to host. When the rookie league starts, it starts in the middle of the season. So
June, yeah.
So I was there the whole time.
So in your travels through the minor leagues with the Mets, you had, as I said, you from everywhere. You just mentioned Tidewater. What was the place, and who were the people that really influenced you as you were working right through the minors towards the Mets? Who was the big influences on you?
Well, one of my coaches that I adore and I got so much respect for is Bob Schaefer. Bob Schaefer was my minor league coach, and he took me through the whole process. And then when I got to the big leagues, was Uncle Bill Robinson. May he rest in peace. And he was a big influence in my life.
Great player, great person. From everything I've heard about Bill Robinson, for sure. I know he was a great player. I saw him play when I was younger, but I've heard great things about him helping guys like yourself too.
Yeah, right now I still talk to Bob Schaefer. He's trying to get me to come to Florida and play golf. But the Florida weather is just, and then we went through COVID, and I was kind of nervous to leave the house and stuff. So
yeah. So once you get to New York, I mean, you obviously grew up in San Diego. What was it like to get to New York City and the bright lights of New York?
Beautiful thing. I call New York my second home, man. If it wasn't for playing under the New York base, the fans, I wouldn't know who I was. Because when you step between those white lines playing for New York, you better play. You can't go out there half-assing nothing.
Right.
You better play for them fans because they want winners.
Well, you came up and were part of a great team, obviously, in '86, and Davey Johnson was a tremendous manager. I think I've heard you speak highly of Davey before. What was your relationship like with Davey?
Like I said, Davey gave me my chance to play in the big leagues, man. And I think any player in this world to understand Davey, he lets you play. You understand?
Yeah.
He lets you play. He managed that team. He lets you play. And personally, I think all these guys that's writing these books about each other, as far as players that you played with.
Yeah.
And they're writing books and saying bad things about the players they play. We went to the dirt with these guys, man. And why would you want to go out and bash the players that you play with? The game is hard enough as it is. And it's wrong to be doing bashing your own players. If it wasn't for Davey, I probably wouldn't have been in the big leagues.
Yeah. Well, you became an integral part of that team too. You played every position, I think, except pitcher, catcher, and second base. Is that right?
No, but I was in the process to play, all of them one day.
Yeah.
And never did it before. I never did that before until I got with the Mets.
What was your natural position coming through the minors? Outfield?
I was a third baseman.
Third base was your natural position.
Mm-hmm. Third base.
I mean, with the Mets, Christ, I remember you playing shortstop and playing it fairly well too for somebody who was not schooled there.
I tell you what, it scared the death out of me the first day we played against the Cardinals. You know how the Cardinals was a running team. Everybody on that team had 100 stolen bases.
Yeah.
And I tell you what, when I came that clubhouse opening day in St. Louis, and I saw my name in the lineup hitting second, I thought it was a joke. That's when reality set in, man. You know, because I'm the utility guy. I'm helping everybody get days off, and I'm going in. I didn't think I was going to start. I'm at shortstop playing again, and I outplayed Ozzie that day.
In the field?
I went 2 for 4 off Tudor.
What about defensively? Did y'all play in defensively?
I had like four or five double plays.
Nice. But you didn't get any Gold Glove votes, though, did you? That's not.
No. That's not my vocabulary right there.
Well, you were getting paid for your glove. We know that, but you certainly had a big bat. And in New York, that team was, it was a great team full of great big personalities. Who was the leader of that team? I mean, I would think of Keith Hernandez would be the leader. I know there was some debate about him and Gary Carter and whatnot.
We did. You know what? I don't like saying we had a leader.
Yeah.
Everybody got a lead by example.
Yeah.
We didn't have no cheerleaders. Everybody got a lead. But Keith Hernandez was a big part of a leader because the way he played the game and the way he motivated everybody, man, he kept everybody in check.
Is that team? That's a great team. I mean, and you played on some good teams with the Giants. Was that the best team you ever played on? The '86.
Oh, yeah. No question. The '86 team was the best team I ever played with because we had another team on the bench. You got to realize that.
Yeah.
Howard Johnson, Rafael Santana, Danny Heap, Mookie Wilson. Everybody played their part when they was in that lineup. And then if you had to come out of that lineup and then go play, you did your thing.
You stay in touch with those guys today?
Oh, all the time, as much as I can, man. I even keep in touch with Lenny and Doc. I try to call Doc at least once a week. As long as I can hear his voice, I know he's all right.
Yeah. Is he all right now?
Yes, he's fine,
Good.
man.
Good.
All this stuff going around about these players, man, I never believe none of the hype, man. I don't care about that. As long as they living, man, I'm on top of the world.
Yeah. Before we move on from that '86 Mets team, and I got to talk quickly about Game 6, one of the craziest finishes ever in a World Series game for sure. And I know you've talked about this before. You come up and get a big base hit in that ninth inning, and I lost you again.
People keep calling in.
Oh, they keep calling. Tell them you're busy, man. Gee, you're a busy guy. In that Game 6, you had a big hit in the 12th inning, and I know you've talked about this before, but I guess I'm obligated to ask.
Oh, I hear it all the time.
Were you out of uniform, or you just that's all a bunch of BS?
Now I'm out of uniform. I was making a plane flight. Come on, I'm a rookie that year. Rookies we don't make our own flights. We ain't got enough money. We didn't make enough money to make our own plane flight. I mean, it was all good when it was all talk. Everybody got in it, but it was all good when it was talking. But, it wasn't never like that. I mean, what was the results?
You kind of won. Craziest game I ever saw. I mean, there's a lot of talk. Let me ask you this. If Bill Buckner catches the ball, he doesn't beat Mookie to first base, does he?
Huh?
I was talking about still back in Game 6. A lot of debate about Bill Buckner, obviously. If he catches the ball, he doesn't beat Mookie to first base anyway, does he?
Mookie said he'd beat him.
Yeah.
He had that bag already taken.
That's why I always laugh. People go, well, Buckner let the ball go through his legs. It wouldn't have mattered. I mean, he doesn't beat Mookie ever.
Hey, Mookie is amazing, man. Let me tell you something. When we did that 60th reunion in this past, I was so mad at Mookie because he was still playing like a young Thundercat. He was hitting balls off the wall and running. I said, Mookie, why are you out here embarrassing us?
Did you put any out so you didn't have to run, Kevin? Or
did I what?
Did you put any out so you didn't have to run?
No, I didn't even play.
You didn't play?
No,
Oh, because you've had some health issues,
yeah,
right? Yeah.
had spinal cord injury.
Yeah, I forgot about that. Yes. How's that, by the way, now? How are you coming along with that?
I'm fused in the neck on both sides, but God is good though. I'm recovering real
Good.
quick. I'm playing golf and riding my motorcycles. I'm enjoying life again, man, because I've never want to go through nothing like that in my life again, man. That is painful, man. And, especially, I don't take nothing. These hospitals be trying to give so many narcotics and stuff,
Yeah.
man. I'm not a dope head, man.
And you've been dealing with this for a while, correct? When did this
Oh,
first?
I didn't know that. They said I've been dealing with it while I was playing.
Wow.
It's the same thing Prince Fielder had. Eric Davis, Howard Johnson.
What was the breaking point where you knew you had to do something about it? What happened?
I went into paralysis, paralyzed from the neck down.
Just like that? Just happened?
Like that. When was on my stairway, fell down, fell all the way down the stairs.
Wow. When was this?
With this side, it was 7 years.
Wow.
And this one had in July.
Oh, just recently.
Yeah.
Okay.
It affected this arm. The right side, the whole right side.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad. I mean, I'm glad you're better. You're obviously not healed, but you're able to get out, play golf, as you said, and enjoy life. That's good. I'm happy to hear that.
Friends, my family, they whooping on me right now. Understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But it's gonna get better with time. And like I tell them, it get greater later.
Are you what's the Nick say? What the trying to remember who's talking about collecting receipts? God damn, there was a coach this year talking about collecting receipts. Maybe it was Kirby Smart. I can't remember. Are you collecting receipts so that you can collect on them later on? Is that what we're doing?
Oh, no question. I am.
Yeah.
I'll let them have it now. Let them have their fun. We put a little change in there, and they take it from me. Keep taking. But when I start taking, don't.
You're not giving it back.
No.
Oh, Kevin, do you wish? 86 was obviously the high point in New York for you because you didn't stay any longer. Do you wish you played your entire career in New York? I mean, tell us about the exit of Kevin Mitchell.
Me and Wally Backman was sitting there talking during the World Series lunchroom one day. He said they'll never trade you, man. You young star. I was traded right after that World Series. And it upset me, man. But life goes on, and I understand the game. Like I told somebody this year, I told Dusty Baker, and I told Dusty, I said, man, every time a hitter's doing well and playing well, man, they always trade him.
Mm-hmm.
But I went on and did bigger and better things. So
you did.
I loved in New York. I called New York, like I said, I called New York my second home. I loved the people there. If you can't play in New York, you can't play nowhere.
Do you have a feeling why you were traded away?
Well, there's a lot of stuff going around, but how can I be a bad influence for Doc Gooden and Strawberry?
I would have thought it'd be the other way around, but
yeah. So I was a rookie.
But they weren't going to trade those two guys, right?
No,
so,
of course not.
Right.
They scapegoat, and I was the guy. I have no hard feelings, though. You know what I'm saying? So.
Well, they traded you away for, I think Kevin McReynolds came back to New York, and I would say your career probably went better than his did afterwards. I mean, he was a nice ball player and all, but I think your career overall was probably better. You get traded back to your hometown for a very short period of time. Tell us a little about that.
Well, I didn't get along with Larry Ball.
Yeah.
A lot of us didn't. So I was there. I was there for a cup of coffee and was out.
Were you happy to move on, even though you were leaving your hometown?
And it was in my hometown wasn't a distraction. Everybody wants to say it was a distraction. Why, when I come there, I play better too?
Yeah.
So it wasn't a distraction at all. It was just an excuse. I didn't get along with Larry. I wasn't taking his lip, and he wasn't taking my lip. So some got to move.
Were you a bit headstrong then, Kevin? I mean, as far as pushing back with a guy like Larry Boa?
I'm a grown man. Why should I be treated like a kid?
Yeah.
talk to me like a man, and I respect you.
Yeah. I'm thinking Larry Bow is kind of night and day from Davy Johnson as a personality.
That's any man. You know, you're not going to sit up here. I got kids too.
Yeah. So it didn't work out badly for you getting traded, obviously, to San Francisco. Your career really took off once you got to the Giants. You played in a World Series, played with some great players, played for another guy with a little bit more laid-back personality, Roger Craig. What was your relationship like with Roger?
Hum Baby. I love the Hum Baby. I gave Hum Baby his first 2 Rockwallers.
Oh, Rottweilers. Really?
I came into Chicago, hit 2 home runs. He came up to me and I didn't have no name on my back. Came up to me and said, "If you hit another one, I give you a white horse." I told Hum Baby, I said, "What I'm gonna do with a white horse in the ghetto?"
Yeah. That white horse might not.
You might
take down a little bit. What? Again, some great players that you played with. Matt Williams was just coming up. Great. He turned out to be a great player, great third baseman. Will Clark was already a great player. Who made that team go besides Kevin Mitchell? Did you have a leader there? I mean, you guys were a great threesome. Was there somebody else that we don't think about that maybe?
We pushed each other.
Yeah.
Will was a leader on that team, man. Will is my good friend right now. Everybody tried to portray that me and him wasn't getting along and stuff like that. We still get along to this day. I just talked to him the other day. He's a blessing in my heart, man. He check on him. He had hip surgery. So, and hopefully I see him here this year. And we sit down and talk for hours.
Yeah, he was a fiery guy.
Oh, that's the Nuschler, man. Come on now. He's a fire plug, man.
Yeah.
Even to this day, as we're getting old, he's still a fire plug.
You know, I think of a little bit when I think of Will Clark, going back to my youth and being a Yankee fan. And this guy wasn't nearly the player Will Clark was, but I think a little bit about Lou Piniella. They used to call him a red ass, was the term that they used back then. And that's what I kind of see Will Clark, the same kind of personality as Lou Piniella.
Oh, no, Will didn't take no mess, man.
Yeah.
That's one thing I tell people to this day right now that I probably didn't deal with Will off the field. On the field, he's a soldier for you, man. He's a soldier. And that's where it really counts, when you're on that field between the white lines with Will Clark.
And you guys drove each other. I mean, was it a friendly competition?
Oh, yes. I fed off of him.
Yeah.
I said, if you hit a single, I'm going to hit a double. If you hit a double, I'm going to hit a triple. You hit a triple, I'm going to hit a home run.
How did you guys are obviously 2 type A personalities, right? How did Matt Williams kind of fit into that group? Because he was a great player in his own right.
Let me tell you something. You don't want to get in bad terms with the big Marine. You don't want to do that. That's the Marine.
Yeah.
Oh, Matty. Oh yeah. He's my good friend too. I still talk to him to this day. He's with San Diego.
Yeah, isn't he just getting back in the dugout? He went through some health issues too, right?
Yeah, he had his hip done and stuff, and I think he had both hips done.
Yeah.
So.
There's a guy that I always liked a lot. I love the way he played ball. Third base, played a little shortstop when he came up. Obviously, big bat. He gets his chance to manage and gets one chance in Washington. I cannot believe that he has not had another chance to manage. I'm shocked.
I don't either. I can't believe it. He told me one day, I saw an interview with him. He said, if he ever got a manager's job, I was going to be the hitting coach.
Well,
but, you know, tell you something. I love those 2 guys, man. Those 2 guys is just incredible in my life, man.
Did you ever did you have any interest in staying in baseball once your playing career ended, Kevin?
No, not really. I mean, the game was good to me, and I loved everything about it. I would love to be back in the game, but I haven't really tried, you know. I haven't really tried to do anything. My passion is working with the kids. I volunteer my time, and I'm working with a kid now named Matt out of San Diego. He's number 2 in the nation. He's 15 years old. He's a shortstop,
Number 2 ranked.
ranked in the nation.
Wow. How old is he?
15.
15. Scouts are already following him, I'm betting.
He's already getting glove contracts and everything.
Can you do that? Is that NAL part of the high school landscape too?
I don't have a clue with that. I don't know what's going on with that, so I couldn't tell you.
I'm curious with a kid like that. Yeah.
Had him yesterday, and he, working him. I got him wearing a 50-pound vest, hitting in the cage for 30 to 40 minutes.
Sounds like a passion. So if Matty got that job managing, would you go take that hitting coach job?
I don't know. The younger kids now, man, you can't deal with them like that, man. They hard to deal with.
So 15 is okay, but when they get to be 21, they're like,
I love working with the kids because I don't want them to make the same mistakes that I made.
Are there regrets that you have throughout your career? Or?
Of course.
Yeah.
I'm mad at my mama right now.
Why are you mad at your mom?
She had me too early. All this money.
Well, that's a good point. That's if you're gonna have a regret, that's a big one to have. I mean, there's a lot of guys probably have that one.
I love my mama, man. But
I don't know what I could look probably here on the baseball reference page. I don't know what your top salary was, Kevin, but I guarantee you there are guys who suck, excuse my language, in the major leagues today that are making 10 times that.
Yeah, you're right.
Right? I mean, good gosh.
All right, man. But I don't have a jealous bone in my body, man. My life just got to keep moving.
Yeah. Well, you can, the only thing we can control in our life is our attitude and our effort. I tell the people that work for me that all the time. Everything else is just going to happen.
Of course.
Right?
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about that the San Francisco team. And you made it to the World Series against the really good Oakland A's. And I thought at the time you guys had a chance. Obviously, this whole thing gets thrown a huge speed bump when earthquake strikes during game 2, right? Was it game 2? Yeah. What was that like for you? Was it as scary as it looked? Was it scary on the field?
Game 3.
Game 3. Was it as scary as it looked from your vantage point?
Oh yeah, so especially when you never seen nothing like that. You wasn't used to it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have never knew it was an earthquake if Willie Mays wouldn't have said the bridge fell. And he came over and told me, hey, the bridge fell, but I seen the people in the right field bleachers. I thought they were stomping to the song "We Will Rock You."
Yeah.
But actually, the stadium was shaking. You could see the TV. I was outside, out on the field talking to Tony Phillips, and I can actually see the TVs blinking. I knew something was wrong. It was very emotional, man. It was, I'm glad the city recovered from all this, and it was just, especially when you're not used to seeing stuff as an earthquake, something like that in California happen like that.
Was it hard to get back to playing the series once it was resumed because of everything you'd seen and heard after that?
I think a lot of guys. It took a lot out of a lot of the players. Took a lot out of a lot of the players. Once we lost those games, they had the edge already. They was in a position they couldn't fight back. So I don't care what kind of motivation you had, they just wanted to get it over with, and I think and go. And check on people's families, friends, whatever. A lot of people got hurt in that earthquake.
Oh, yes, for sure.
It was time to mourn, for the city of San Francisco and just try to, get back.
Were you okay that they restarted the series, or do you think maybe there should have been more consideration and maybe just?
We have no control of that. We just got to go out there as players and play no matter what. And try to bring some more life back into the people.
Well, That was a great season, and the Giants had some other good seasons. You had some great seasons. You were the MVP that year, right? Probably your best, by far your best season, I would say. Any other memories of that time in San Francisco that come to mind?
No, I just enjoyed. I still enjoy San Francisco. I enjoy the people in San Francisco, the owners. They're first class. Whatever they do with the old players, us old players, they're first class. First class. My heart still pumps orange.
Cool.
You know, Larry Bear is top notch. His whole staff, everybody.
And Roger was your manager your entire time there, right?
Yes.
Is there a guy, you mentioned Dusty Baker before, and you played for some other managers that you had a great respect for, like Davey Johnson. You played for Davey again when you got to Cincinnati, where you had a bit of a revival, actually a lot of a revival in your career. Is there a manager you didn't play for that you would like to have? I'm wondering if it's a name that's already come up tonight, but
Bob Schaefer. He was my manager in the minor leagues. He was Torrey's bench manager with the Dodgers.
Yeah. Interesting. Okay. How about Dusty?
Dusty too. If he was if Dusty was my hitting coach, but if he was a man, Dusty knows how to. He can make the worst player in the world make him the best player in the world. Dusty understands players, understands the game. That's why players love playing for Dusty Baker.
Yeah. Where you had to be really happy. Me as a fan, I was really happy for Dusty Baker last year. You had to be ecstatic for.
Bro, I cried for him. I cried.
Yeah.
Because Papa deserved all that he's getting right now, man. I call him Papa.
Yeah.
He deserves whatever comes his way, man. He deserves it all.
You didn't miss him by much in San Francisco, right? Yeah, I mean, I feel like it was only a couple years later he got the manager's job. A couple years after you had left, he got the manager's job in the Giants, right?
Yeah. Yes, he did.
What precipitated you leaving the Giants when you left?
I don't know. I don't know. I went to Seattle after that, and they called me at 5 o'clock in the morning, woke me up, and told me I was traded. I said, you guys got big balls to be calling me this early and telling me I'm traded to Seattle at 5 in the morning. You couldn't wait.
Yeah.
Bob Nelson called me.
It's we forget, we watch it as fans. Even today, I try to watch it as a fan. We know it's a business, but you had to really feel it in those moments that this is just a business and am I just a number?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
That's all it is. We like horses. When you go lane, they're gonna do something with you.
Speaking just to kind of bring it back to San Francisco before we move on a little bit, one thing I forgot to talk about was that probably the best catch I'd ever seen ever in a Major League Baseball game was made by you. And obviously, we said you weren't necessarily known for your leather, but you didn't even use your leather.
See, and you could get a golden hand after that.
I mean, what happened there? Did you overrun that ball, or what caused that catch?
Left-handers balls come back.
Yeah.
Corner. We was bunching Ozzie Smith, and he threw him the wrong pitch.
I love it every time I see that. I'll catch it every once in a while on YouTube, and I got to watch it like 20 times.
And another thing from being in the boys' clubs, playing Woodford ball. See that? Kids always your YMCA's, your boys' clubs, and participate as much as you can, man.
That'd be your message for kids today?
Of course. I grew up in the boys' clubs, man. Grew up playing everything I can play. From ping pong to swimming to everything. It keeps your mind busy.
Idle hands, right? Idle hands, not a good thing. Um, outside your major league career, Kevin, you spent a year in Japan. Oh, how did that go?
I got hurt. They tell you know condition now. So kept trying to tell me I wasn't hurt, which I was, and I ended up leaving. It wasn't a good deal over in Japan, but they got good baseball. I learned a lot over there, but I think they should have more instead of having them presenting interpreters to help you out. You should have an American interpreter.
So here they've got interpreters. Over there, you didn't have an interpreter?
No, I had one of their guys that lives over there.
I see.
Have an American interpreter that's going to be on your side and tell you the truth with what they're saying and stuff like that.
Yeah. So not an experience you would recommend to others.
Oh no! If you want to go over there, that's on them. I it just wasn't for me.
There aren't guys going there like they used to. I mean, it seems to me years ago there was quite a few guys that would go from here to play over there, but it doesn't seem to be that way anymore.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on because I'm out of the loop when it comes to baseball. I watch a few games and I'd rather go to a little league game and watch that. I get more excited out of that than the big league game.
How about the World Baseball Classic? Is that something you enjoy watching or not?
I enjoyed that. I wish they'd have had that when I was around.
Yeah,
I enjoyed every bit of it.
I would love to have seen you represent. I love those kind of competitions, and the players get into it. They're playing hard.
That's exciting, man. That's exciting.
Yeah.
I wish they would have had Little League World Series when I was growing up too.
They didn't?
No.
Could have swore the Little League World Series has been going on for quite some time, but
I didn't know nothing about it. I played Little League.
Yeah.
Maybe we wasn't good enough in the inner city.
Well, it's possible. I grew up in a rural area in upstate New York, and believe me, there was no path to the Little League World Series from there either. So, you probably had to be in the right areas to get on those all-star teams, right? So, let me ask you a couple quick questions, just with quick answers. Who was the best player you ever played with?
I gotta say, best player I ever played with. I played against or with.
Could be either way. That's fine. Either way. Best player.
Bo Jackson.
Interesting. I had Bo in my head. I really did. Who's the best teammate to play with? Not necessarily the best player, but the best teammate.
Matt Williams. And Will.
And Will. Cool. Who'd you play with? I guess against, since you brought that into the equation as well. Who was the guy who got the most out of the least? Got the most out of least amount of talent?
Who's the guy that got the most least talent?
The guy who got the most played the best with the least amount of talent. So, played above his talent level.
I gotta say, guy I played with the Giants was Greg Litton.
Love the name. That's a good one. And I'm going to reverse it. It's a little harder, and I've had guys who don't want to answer this one. Who got the least? Who played the worst? I'm not going to say this. Who got the least out of the most amount of talent? Did not maximize their talent.
That didn't maximize their talent?
Did not.
Wow, that's a hard one. I couldn't give you no answer on that one.
Okay, fair enough. Best team we already talked about, 86 Mets.
86 Mets.
Best manager, I guess you've already said too. Your minor league manager, Bob Schaefer.
Yes.
Before I let you go today, we're going to wrap it up here in a few minutes. I know I've kept you for a while, and I know you're probably wanting to get a bite to eat or something.
It's sitting right here.
You got it in front of you? Don't go ahead and eat. Don't feel obligated.
No, all right.
Throw a couple. You can give me a 1-2 word answer when I throw out some names. Davey Johnson.
Great manager.
Roger Craig.
Cool, calm, and collect.
Nice. I'll do this. I guess I wasn't going to do it, but I'll do it. Larry Bowa.
Not on my mind.
There's see, that's an answer. Daryl.
Daryl who?
Strawberries. Sorry.
Great man.
Keith Hernandez.
A leader.
Gary Carter.
The most honest man I ever played around.
Nice. Doc. Good.
Doc, I gotta say, a great friend.
Lenny Dykstra.
You gotta understand him.
Yeah. That makes sense. Mookie.
A young Thundercat.
Still.
Yeah.
Still. Matt Williams, who you mentioned a couple of times tonight. What's a couple description for him? A couple words.
Marine.
Nice. Some other guys you didn't play with quite as long, but I have an interest in. Deion Sanders.
Oh man, talented. Whatever he does.
A personal favorite of mine because he's next Yankee, Roberto Kelly.
Oh, I love me some Roberto Kelly, man. When they traded him from my team, I was hurt. Just silent but deadly.
Yeah, I loved him as a Yankee, man. I really did. I was really upset when they traded him. Some guys from your Mariners days. Tino Martinez.
Oh my God, Tino. Mr. Excitement.
Yeah, really. I don't think I would have said excitement. He played well and added some excitement. Doesn't seem, that's a good one.
He got excited about stuff.
We talked about Ozzie Smith, but a guy who I would say was his equal with the glove, Omar Vizquel.
Woo, little O, the magician.
That's a good one. Another ex-Yankee farmhand, Jay Buhner, another slugger like yourself.
Jay Buhner. I must say, Jay is bad to the bones. That's how you can put him.
Good one. Good one. Oh gosh. So listen, if you've already talked to the kids of the audience, what if you wanted to put just a stamp on your career, are you happy with the career that you had?
No.
You feel it should have been more?
Yes.
More from you, more championships, what?
More from me.
Yeah. What held you back?
To be honest,
Always.
just distractions.
Fair enough. It's an honest answer, Kevin. I can't ask for any more than that. I mean, you had a great career, and when you recognize you wish you'd done more. I like to think. I asked my regrets, and I know you said you were mad at your mama, which is a good answer. I always feel, I haven't lived a life. Wasn't a Major League Baseball player, but we all live life. We all go through life, right? And ups and downs in everybody's life. I don't regret necessarily anything that's happened to me because it's all made me the person that I am today.
Of course, no doubt.
You agree with that? Yeah.
No question.
You feel you're a better person than you were then, and because of what you went through?
Way better.
That's good to hear.
Things is going. Got to learn how to deal with them.
Yeah, and I'm glad your health is on the upswing. We'll keep you in our thoughts and prayers, and I'm glad that you're loving life and again and enjoying yourself. And I got to tell you, when you told me you're on the golf course today, I was jealous as hell. I have to tell you.
Yeah, I try to get out here as much as I can, man. So still doing a lot of physical therapy. And still, getting 2-hour massages, still just trying to restructure.
Well, plugging forward. I really appreciate your time coming on today. I've enjoyed chatting with you, and I hope you enjoy that sandwich or whatever you got in front of you or waiting to dive into.
I'm enjoying it.
All right. Listen, thanks again so much, Kevin. I'm going to share this to your page later if that's okay, once it plays tomorrow, and maybe we'll cross paths again. Maybe we'll play golf here in upstate New York, when the temperature gets above,
Yeah. You know what? Old as I'm getting, I can't take the cold air. That's why I'm in the high desert.
I hear you.
Appreciate you, man. Thank you for having me on, and much love to you, man.
Same to you. Thanks again. Have a great night.
You too. Bye-bye.
So that was our guest, Kevin Mitchell, tonight, former Met, Giant, short time with the Padre, short time with some other teams. Great player in his day, man. Hall of Fame talent. I think he knows that, as you saw by his last comments. And he had a really good career, nothing to be ashamed of at all. And we recognize our shortcomings and just don't regret it. You just learn, and I think Kevin's done that, and he was very upfront and honest today, and we had a lot of fun. I love talking to guys from this era, as you guys know, and we'll have more guys on like Kevin Mitchell, and I hope you guys enjoyed it tonight. And we'll be back with we've got some new interviews coming up soon. I don't have my list in front of me, but I know that we'll have Delvin Williams, former football player with the 49ers and the Dolphins. Can't find my list. I had a couple that Dan Harris had gotten put together for me coming up soon. Can't remember the other one off the top of my head now, but we got a few other guys that he's got keyed up potentially to come on, like Steve Sachs, Mike Westhoff, great special teams coaching in the NFL. He's back in the NFL with the Broncos now, and Sean Payton. And damn, I wish I could find the other name that Dan had gotten lined up for me, but I can't seem to find it right now. But I'm sure I will as soon as I sign off. I love doing this. I hope you guys. I hope my enjoyment in these interviews comes across, because I really love it, and I hope you guys continue to tune in. And if there's guys that you really want to get on from these eras, listen, I'm not going out and getting the LeBrons, guys. I'm under no illusions that LeBron James is coming on this show, that any Yankee stars, Aaron Judge is not coming on this show. I get that. Maybe when they're retired 20 years they will, but we've had a lot of great players from the past, and I like bringing them to you, and I hope you enjoy it as much as I do, and I hope that comes across in these interviews. And I try to get guys engaged and talking and talking honestly, and I hope you've enjoyed this. So let's start up the exit music. I've enjoyed it. You guys, hope you have a great night, day, whatever time of day you're watching this. I hope you have enjoyed it. Leave a comment, like and share this interview, and also go to TGI Sports Talk and like and share that. Go to Let's Talk Sports and ring the bell, as Dan Harris liked to say. We'll be back next week with another interview. Well, maybe not next week, because I'm traveling a little bit for work next week, but maybe the week after we'll be back with a new live interview. Have a great night. Thank you.